It began as an ordinary summer in Sydney, beaches full, skies clear. But by evening, Bondi Beach turned into a scene of horror.
Oh!
The Sydney shooting left the world shaken, and a new chilling question emerged. How did two men, a father and son, travel halfway across Asia, spend 28 days in the Philippines, and return radicalized enough to carry out a massacre on Australian soil? Authorities now say the Sydney shooters, Sajid Akram and his son Naveed, an Australian citizen, were driven by ISIS ideology. But their trail doesn't end in Sydney. It runs through Davao, the southern Philippine city once hailed as safe, now at the heart of an international counter-terrorism probe. As per the Philippine Bureau of Immigration, Sajid and Naveed arrived from Sydney on November 1st. They stayed 28 days, traveling deep into Mindanao, before returning home on November 28th. Barely 2 weeks later, the Bondi Massacre unfolded. But can you guess why Davao? Why Mindanao? That's where the story turns dark. Mindanao is no ordinary region. For decades, it's been the epicenter of insurgency and extremism, a place where multiple armed movements have risen and fallen under the black flag of radical Islam. In 2017, ISIS-linked fighters seized the city of Marawi, turning it into a war zone. 5 months of battle left over 1,000 dead and 200,000 displaced. The Philippines declared victory, but experts say the ideology never died. It went underground, splintered and adapted while waiting for new believers. Now, investigators fear the Akrams may have found that ideology there. Officials believe the pair spent much of their stay in Davao, just a few hundred kilometers from Maguindanao and Lanao del Sur, territories still known for ISIS-linked activity. It's the same corridor long used for moving money, weapons and foreign recruits across borders. A corridor the Islamic State once called its gateway to the Pacific. For intelligence agencies, that route has become a red flag, because over the years foreign fighters from Indonesia, Malaysia and even the Middle East have used Mindanao as a transit hub. Some stayed for training, others slipped back quietly into their home countries, radicalized, equipped and ready to strike. The names behind this network are familiar. Abu Sayyaf, the Maute Group, Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters, groups once feared, now fractured but not finished. The Philippine military claims they've been reduced to manageable numbers, but manageable doesn't mean eliminated. According to intelligence estimates, up to 500 ISIS-aligned fighters still operate in the jungles of Mindanao, often hiding among displaced families. And while their numbers may be small, their reach is wide. Because the real battlefield today isn't just physical, it's digital. Encrypted chats, Telegram channels, dark web forums. This is where new extremists are made. Where old ideologies find young recruits, and where messages of revenge, distorted faith and global brotherhood spread faster than any border patrol can stop. Officials now believe the Akrams were part of that digital network, radicalized through online propaganda, emboldened by their trip to Mindanao, and inspired by the ghost of ISIS that still lingers there. Their visit to Davao, once seen as random, now looks deliberate, not a tourist trip, but a pilgrimage to the remnants of a caliphate. The Philippines' geography, over 7,000 islands, porous maritime borders and weak coastal surveillance, makes it ideal for clandestine travel. Militants have long exploited these routes. From Malaysia's Sabah coast to Indonesia's North Sulawesi, smugglers move fighters and funds under the radar. From there, the journey to Davao or General Santos is just a short sea hop away. That's why counter-terror agencies across Southeast Asia are now on alert. Australia's intelligence agencies are working closely with Manila's anti-terror task force. Indian officials are also involved, since one of the accused holds an Indian passport. It's a joint investigation stretching across 3 democracies united by a single threat: the revival of jihadist networks in Southeast Asia. Now, as the Sydney tragedy shows, Extremism today doesn't need borders, bases, or armies. All it needs is a network and an idea that refuses to die. India, Australia, and the Philippines now face the same test, which is to crush not just the terrorists, but the ideology that travels faster than they do. Because while the bullets fired in Sydney have stopped echoing, the radical whispers that caused them still haven't.